Welcome to Living the Run, the last show of 2012. I'm your host, Rex Stevens, in studio. Former Major League catcher, current scout for the Chicago Cubs, and struggling with his microphone, Adam Melhuse.
How's it going?
Good to be back. Good to hit the Christmas holidays. We've been pushing here on Living the Run, where we talk everything health and fitness, talking how to go into the holidays, coming out on the other end healthier. Adam, have you been successful thus far?
Not really. I admit to some brownies, some cookies, and that's as far as I'm going to admit to. But just talking with the wife, and I said, come January 1, I'm sure a lot of people are tracking with me here. January 1, we're going to tighten up the diet a little bit, and I will see how that goes.
Well, we'll tighten it up a little bit. We'll talk to an elite athlete here, too, and it's such a great way to end the year. This year, we got Jordan Hasay running for the University of Oregon. Arguably the greatest runner, SLO has had, at least for decades. Someone that everyone follows. People that weren't even into running follow Jordan. It's kind of like, oh yeah, I know her. Haven't ever paid attention to track and field or cross country, but I know Jordan, and she's just got that energy about her, got the look about her. Everybody, the number one thing they talk about, the first thing is how nice she is. this is just a kind, genuine spirit that just flat out can run fast.
Yeah, I remember when we first moved here, you couldn't help but to see her mugshot, if you will, in the sports page. Doing something, off the charts, setting some record or something when she was running for Mission Prep. And, I'm one of those that fall into that category you were saying about that. Never really been a distance runner, not a huge runner, not very good at it. That's probably why I'm not a runner. But
you were a catcher, Adam. You were a catcher. Can you name one catcher that was known as an elite runner?
Well, I like to call myself a frustrated shortstop that was a catcher, but just because I wasn't good enough to be a shortstop. But anyways, no, I knew exactly, when we first moved to town, like I said, you pick up a paper and her name's plastered all over it, and met her in the lobby just a second ago, and anxious to talk with her. Yeah,
I remember the first time that I ever saw Jordan, I didn't know that it was her. I was driving up California one time, and I see a girl running, and at the time, and you see this with runners anyway, oftentimes runners, have smaller frames, and you kind of going along, but she seemed younger than she actually was, and you're watching, and you drive by, and you think, gosh, that girl's really flying. She's actually like moving, and a lot of times you drive by people, and you can kind of get a sense the pace that they're moving. But I got the sense, who is that? And then you start to hear about Jordan, and I still didn't know what she looked like. And then they start to describe this girl with long blonde hair, big smile. I'm going, wait a minute, that's a girl I drive by that seems to be going, at the pace of my vehicle. Half the time on that incline coming away from Paulie. Impressive stuff. But one of the things that's most impressive, and this being a professional athlete, is the dedication it takes. And I think sometimes when you think about running in some of these grueling races, whether it be cross country, a 3-mile, basically sprint they're doing now. She gets out, she runs the 1,500 meter, which now looks like a sprint as well. The pain and suffering is immense in these runs. We've talked to tower runners, we've talked to these people doing 100-mile runs. We've talked to different people but this is an intense thing, and to train like this year round, to mentally be prepared each time, knowing that each run is going to hurt. There's no chance that it's not. I mean, every run you do, every race that you're in, there's going to be that element of pain, and being able to mentally stay focused, I think a good thing to talk to Jordan about later.
Well, isn't that what Dean said when we had him on, that, if you're at the starting line, it's, don't fool yourself and say, okay, this is going to be a smooth race with no pain or any. He's like, hey, just embrace it, and what did he say? That next stride is going to be my best stride, and then the following stride is my best stride, and just take it one stride at a time. But yeah, it's just going to flat out. Maybe that's why I wasn't a runner. Maybe I didn't have the mental, capacity to get through that. I don't know.
Well, it's a different mental capacity. I mean, as you step into the cage before every baseball game, you're there to be focused on your swing. You're there to try and dial in your mechanics, get yourself ready for that game. But it's kind of a different deal. There's no suffering involved in it. You're not getting painful. You're not getting fatigued. There's no element of
physical
that.
Suffering.
There's
mental.
Yeah, certainly mental. I know. But you know what I mean. It's just a different way of looking at fitness, and I think it's one thing that detracts people from really living the run. I mean, people when they start to look at it, they're trying to get back. We've talked to Samantha Pruitt over and over, couch potato to now ultra marathoner, getting from the couch potato to even doing a 5K to walking around the block to going doing some stairs. Often frustrating, often painful, and that initial pain is the big detractor for so many.
Yeah, I mean, and that's when, like you said, the mental part comes in, and then aside from that, I got to imagine the soft tissue work, going into see people like yourself to get aligned and make sure you're stacked properly, and I mean, it's crazy how much I've learned. It's almost embarrassing to say after I retired. That just one little break in that chain, so to speak, from your toes to your nose, and any little thing. We talked to, I forget his name off the top of my head, from I believe Texas. Hall, was it? Dr. Hall?
Mike Hall. Yeah, Dr. Mike Hall.
Well, he just ran through a whole gamut of little breakdowns from here to there, from here to there. If this isn't working, then that's not working, and if this isn't going to work, then that's so. Just a break in the chain could lead to just about a plethora of disasters, and pain. And so it's going to happen. Soft tissue work, foam rolling, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's fascinating. And like I said, I'm embarrassed to say that I didn't learn about all this stuff until after I retired. I wish I would have picked it up a lot sooner.
Well, interesting thing, Adam, I was talking to a guy in the clinic today, and we were talking, he'd had back surgery. He'd had a couple injuries as a firefighter, and now we kind of talked about, hey, can I run again? What's the possibilities there? He'd had some different kind of answers going along. But as we talked about some things, and I've talked to you about these things, where sometimes you got to do something on what they call a flexor muscle on your left side, and maybe that's to stretch it, but on the right side, you may need to be doing some strengthening exercise. You may need to do a flexibility a little bit more on one side, some endurance on another side. And he kind of said, he goes, gosh, when did all this stuff get so complicated? And, the human body actually really wasn't overly complicated with some of these movement patterns. We just weren't doing it right. And we kind of gotten far away from some things. We'd seen some things in the realm of weight training that we hadn't seen before. So now all of a sudden that got introduced, but kind of maybe got introduced a little fast for people. We started some training programs of no pain, no gain in some of our workouts, but we were actually causing injury, like you said, soft tissue. And so there was just almost some trial and a little bit of error going. But the reality is that a balanced body is the best body, a body that can perform. And, you can do that with weight training. You can do that with endurance. You can do that with flexibility. And that's where people really have to think. And I got to think, we'll talk to Jordan. I know one of the problems, we don't see it in cross country as much, as when you get over to that track and you're always making a counterclockwise turn on the track, it's a different deal. It's a different animal with that inside leg than what the outside leg is doing. You've got a spinal tilt one way. And so we can run into repetitive injuries there. It'd be interesting to kind of talk to her about how she deals with that and how the body feels differently between track season and cross country season, because they are different animals and different tasks for the human skill. Yeah,
and I know, forgive me for mentioning this, because I know we're living the run, but how much about recovery? I mean, we're all about getting up and getting going on this, but I think you have to factor in, I know when I get started on a new program or something else, it's like I'm going to go, twice a day, 7 days a week, and knowing full well that that's actually counterproductive. So I think you have to balance in there some rest and recovery, and then you've got different levels of that where, simply just sitting or lying down, and then you got your active recovery where you're moving around a little bit. It was weird during the season, as it got to the second half of the season, those days off killed me. I mean, it was great to have a day off, but it hurt the body a lot more than a day off the first couple months of the season. And it was like, oh no, a day off. Yay, a day off. Oh no, a day off.
Hey, we're rounding out the year here on Living the Run. And one of the things I wanted to give a shout out to, and there's no way, any of us could have known what was going on. You're sitting in your cars. You got no clue what's going on in the studio. But props to Dave Ollis for filling in here from the last show. He got our show running today as Max, our original producer, got stuck in some nasty traffic. But Max just made the transition back in. We're thankful to have Max. And the show has been great. We can talk about what we're going to do in 2013, the multitude of guests that we've already got lined up, and these opportunities coming forth in the new year to live the run. But if you guys have missed anything, we got a ton of hits. I got a ton of hits from last week's show. I know you weren't here, Adam, but we talked video games. If you missed that interview, check us out, facebook.com/livingtherun or on livingtherun.com. We had a guy up from the Silicon Valley talking video games and health and fitness. We really try to span the globe on this show to come from all elements. Again, elite athlete Jordan Hasay in moments here. We've had all types of different elite athletes, people pushing the envelope, but then we just got average day people too, trying to make change, take control of their own lifestyle, and do things to better their sense of humanism. One of the great guests we've had, Adam, over the last few months, as you've been in here, is we've been talking food, and we wanted to round out one more time with Virginia from Vert Foods. And as we sit and talk about this, one of the things we see in holidays is we overconsume. We're overly gluttonous, and one of the problems with it I see is on the day after, a couple of things can happen. We either we ate ourselves into oblivion where we don't want to see the same food again, and so it gets wasted, or we get bored with the same food second, third, and fourth day that it's still staring back at us in the fridge. But we want to talk leftovers today. What's the ideal thing to do with leftovers? We got a couple leftovers. So Virginia from Vert Foods. Virginia, it's been a great year. Thanks for joining us this fall. This before the new year shows up here. What do we do with leftovers so that we can embrace them, enjoy them, and maybe even add to them to keep it healthy and keep us vibrant and keep us moving?
Well, the thing I love about leftovers is, generally speaking, you have a great base. Especially if you've taken some of the advice that we've been dishing out on the show, you hopefully already have some food in your fridge that's left over that already has a great nutrient-dense base. So instead of going to the Chinese food restaurant, which I just keep seeing blog after blog of, everybody doesn't want to look at their turkey or their ham or their potatoes anymore, so they're going to go to the Chinese food restaurant. How about you relook at that food that's in your refrigerator and start anew? So one of the dishes I gave to you guys tonight, which is so easy, it's packed full of vitamins and minerals, is my leftover potatoes mixed with a head of spinach, some kale, the leftover gravy I had, and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. You blend it up, you stick it in muffin tins, and you bake it at 350, and you've got these great little kale spinach fritters or soufflés. They taste awesome, and because my gravy and my potatoes were already made from organic substances, they're just packed full of minerals and vitamins, and they're fun. My kids popped about 8 of those for lunch this afternoon, and I got rid of my gravy, and I got rid of my potatoes, and it was a whole new meal. The other thing that we love to do is soup. You hear this commonly. Boil down the carcass of your turkey and make some type of soup. Well, another great soup base is actually all your sweet potatoes or your mashed potatoes or your squashes. So let's say you made whipped butternut souffle or mashed potatoes. Use that as the cream base of a soup, and you've got just a great start. Add some coconut milk, put in some spices. That's all you need, and you've got a great warm soup for this cold days. So leftovers are a fabulous thing. Don't give up on the food in there. If you are going to boil down your turkey, like I tell people, go in your garden and grab some fresh herbs and just add as much as you can to it. Boil it down to nice broth. It's a great start to even more fabulous recipes.
Yeah. I'm just thinking here. I'm looking at these guys in the studio.
Do they try the
well, I'm just wondering. Have spinach and kale fritters ever entered your house?
No,
they're good.
I wish they did. I mean, that was phenomenal.
Good.
Oh man,
good. That was just fantastic. But as you were talking, I'm thinking, geez, these guys, looking at this, it looks foreign. Total foreign object, but.
It reminds me of what you were talking about with Jordan and runners, and I hear a lot of similar analogies when I talk to people about cooking, is this needing to get that first step, that how do I walk around the block? How do I even deal with fresh grated ginger? It's an interesting thing to me. Obviously, probably like a natural athlete, cooking has always been comfortable for me. It's always been easy, per se. It's always been a point of relaxation. So when I look at people who are like, I don't even know what kale looks like, I've never even seen a spaghetti squash, it's a whole other process of reminding yourself that you have to enter into people's world at their level. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad I can bring something new to you. Hopefully you won't be scared of spinach and kale fritters in the future. But I do understand that sometimes you have to make that leap of how do I get this in my mouth and not be scared of it. So it is a process, and hopefully in 2013 we can all make new changes. In fact, I'll be teaching cooking classes starting in 2013 at the Culinary Arts School. So hopefully be able to give people some of these tips and let them see what kale looks like and the spaghetti squash looks like.
Hey, fantastic as always. We appreciate it so much, Virginia. Look forward to 2013 with you. And thanks for putting these things on the blog or on the website as well as the Facebook as well. People are eating it up, literally.
Terrific. All right, have a good one. See you in the new year.
All right. I have to say before we go to break, we got Jordan Hasay here in studio. Did you hear her say, when she's cooking, it kind of she's just relaxed and doing it, much like Jordan. I got to believe Jordan was grinning out there. I can't see her face, but some of those runs that she does, Olympic trials and what have, I got to ask her if she feels relaxed, more relaxed when running at that pace. I got to think no, but if she does, more power to her. We'll ask her that and more. Folks, stay with us. Jordan Hasay on ESPN 1280 The Ticket next.
Imagine waking up every morning feeling great, jumping out of bed, starting your day, and then energetically getting through the day and finishing with plenty left for the evening. The fact is, you were born with all the tools you need to function optimally, develop lean, strong muscles, and generally feel good, productive, and pain-free. You just need to relearn to use these natural tools, and it's not as hard as you think. Athlon Fitness and Performance in San Luis Obispo has a 4-week fitness fast start designed specifically to get you back on track and moving like a champion, quickly and effectively. And for a limited time, you can start Athlon's 4-week fitness fast start for only $197. That's 4 weeks of personal training, nutritional guidance, movement rehabilitation, motivation, fun, and encouragement, all for just $197. Take your body and your athleticism to a new level. Go to athlonslow.com. That's ATHLONSLO.com to learn more about the 4-week fitness fast start. It'll be the best decision you ever make.
Since 1929, Standard Process has been dedicated to providing the highest quality whole food supplements. Their philosophy is simple: to provide nutrients as they are found in nature. Today, scientists are finding more and more evidence demonstrating the benefits of whole food nutrients over high-dose synthetic vitamins. Standard Process's unique products are sold through healthcare professionals who are trained in using whole food nutrition as the first line of defense for the body. Visit www.standardprocess.com for more information or to find a Standard Process healthcare practitioner near you.
You want to get fit? And I mean really fit? Fit for fun? Fit for looking good? Fit for life? It can happen for you at Athlon Fitness and Performance in San Luis Obispo. Athlon has a 4-week fitness fast start designed to get anyone back on track and moving like a champion quickly and effectively. For a limited time, you can start Athlon's 4-week fitness fast start for only $197. That's 4 weeks of personal training, nutritional guidance, movement rehabilitation, motivation, fun, and encouragement, all for just $197. Take your body and your athleticism to a new level. Go to athlonslow.com. That's ATHLONSLO.com to learn more about the 4-week fitness fast start. It'll be the best decision you'll ever make.
My name is Chris Randolph, and as a local track and field Olympic hopeful, I've been seeing Brian Quigley at Slow Wellness Center to help me with injury recovery during my season. Brian has not only helped me with some very extensive injuries, but has also educated me on the specifics of how my body moves when I compete. His knowledge and touch has helped me achieve personal bests in my competition and has also helped me in injury prevention. Becoming a wellness patient of his has helped me stop my injuries before they start, making time spent recovering shorter, leaving more time spent training for my goals. From injury prevention to wellness, Brian understands the patient and holistically helps them achieve their personal health-related goals. So check out Brian Quigley at peakperformanceslo.com and find him on Facebook and comment a response to this ad and get a complimentary 60-minute massage.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, Slow Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at Slow Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, Slow Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
We're back with Living the Run.
Welcome back to Living the Run, last show of 2012. Still talking spinach and kale fritters here. Virginia Vert Foods, phenomenal stuff as always. Easy stuff to eat, actually easy to make. She's going to be teaching classes in the new year, so always look forward to hearing more from Virginia. Well, in studio now, we're blessed to round out the year, to end the year with a local favorite, elite athlete, though. At the time, we don't have a lot of pros here, but we got some pros in the track and field world. Sure to be one here in the future, if she so desires. But one of our favorite runners to watch and follow since the Mission Prep days, Jordan Hasay in studio. Thanks, Jordan, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here. Nice to be back in town.
Nice to be back in town, away from the drudges of the Oregon weather and into Central Coast. You came here like it's been 85 degrees every day up until this last couple weeks.
Yeah.
We get a little rain.
I think I brought the rain with me.
You brought it with you. Hey, so we were talking during the break, and one of the most fantastic things I watched in sports just in the last 6 weeks was on Flow Track. They showed a nice summary of your cross country championship, and we can call you national champion cross country Oregon Ducks. How'd that feel for the team?
It was really special. It was something that we talked about at the beginning of the season. Our coach said, I'll prepare you for that day, but everyone just has to give their best on that day. And it was really neat to have it all come together because, like you said, it's kind of, people think of running as an individual sport, but cross country, that's why I've really enjoyed it the past couple years, is because it really is a team sport at the college level. And we train together every day. We are with each other for most of the day, so it's your best friends, and it's just fun walking away with the championship with them.
Hey, so how, it's tough to tell on the video, how long after the race completes do you guys actually find out? Because there it is, your team is kind of huddled up in a group that, they kind of show you guys, and it looks like coach comes in and reveals the news that you're the champ. I mean, a little different than Adam Melhuse here. When a baseball game ends, the baseball game's over, if the team won or not. But it seemed like there was a delay. How long was it before they told you guys, and what's that anxious time like waiting?
Yeah, it's hard to know because, you can kind of tell when people are crossing the line that we had won, but obviously you want to wait till the official results come in just in case there's any errors. So it was, our coach, we were already celebrating, but our coach was like, okay, we need to tally up the scores first and wait till you guys celebrate.
Got it. Where could the errors be, though? It's time, right?
Yeah, well, it's place. So low score wins. So each runner has a certain amount of points. So I was third, so I get 3 points. Alexi was ninth, and she gets 9 points. And then so each runner adds up. And actually, so we were told that we won, what you saw on Flow Track, but then they actually forgot to, we wear these automatic chips on our bibs, and they forgot to count our second runner, Alexi. So our coach had to come back and tell us that we actually got second. But then they reviewed the film, and they had to watch the entire race again, and then they realized that we actually had won by quite a bit. So it was actually, it's more of a story than just waiting to hear that we had won. We actually, we thought we lost for a little bit, and then we were told we won again. But that's kind of the strength of our team. When our coach told us that we lost, we were like, I don't really care, guys. We know we did our best. I love you guys. It doesn't matter. So it was an interesting couple hours, but we are glad to come away with the win.
I bet. Talk about the cross-country season versus the track season. Adam and I were talking about that before, about soft tissue injuries, different repetitive stress injuries, and certainly cross-country is a lot less repetitive stress, obviously, than running around in a track in circles over and over and over again. What do you find? How does your body seem to thrive adapt during the different seasons, because it's essentially a different season. I mean, you're running on a track versus running cross country on different trails, different courses. What have you noticed with your body? Is it almost you're thankful to have that time to get into something just a little bit different, even though it's the same sport running?
Yeah, it is nice. Like you said, cross country, we kind of use it as more of a base season. It's definitely more time to build up the mileage, but at the same time, our coach is really good about keeping us on soft surface. We never do runs on concrete. We make sure we're always on soft surface. And even during the track season, we'll do most of our workouts on the trail and then maybe do the last repeat on the track. So we are really good at trying to prevent injuries and being cautious in that way.
So when you're a young kid, it's kind of funny. Was it right of me to be cracking up there with Virginia saying cooking makes her relaxed and because she's good at it? I mean, these races look like anything but relaxing. But when you're a kid, when do you learn that you're good, or when do you learn that I really like this too? I mean, there's one thing to be good at something, but you may not like it. How did you put those two things together? What age do you think you were when you did that?
Well, I basically started out running in the 4th grade. I was just beating all the boys at running in PE class, and so it's always fun. You always like something that you're good at, and so I just kind of liked it from there and started joining. I raced against 7th and 8th graders and won some of those races. And
in 4th grade?
Yeah, in 4th grade.
That's a pretty good indication you're good.
Yeah, decent indicator.
But I kept playing other sports until 8th grade, basketball, volleyball. But I just running was where my heart was. I mean, when I played basketball, I would just sprint up and down the court. I wouldn't really do anything else. And so it's just always something that I've enjoyed. And it's kind of funny because I do agree with Virginia that it is relaxing. I mean, it's certainly not during a race during some parts, but actually a key to running a good race is trying to stay as relaxed as possible, and so that's what we work on as far as mental training, is trying to be the most relaxed person in the race. And normally if you're relaxed, you have a pretty good shot at doing well.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. We're talking to Jordan Hasay here on Living the Run, ESPN 1280 The Ticket. Nicole Hagobian, who trained here locally, and she was trying for the Olympic trials in the marathon this last year. I think she said if in the first 10 miles you don't feel totally relaxed and totally at ease, you're in trouble, in that race. And that's an interesting point, because you're saying if you're too tense and you're too stressed early, there's no way it's going to work at the end. Forget the kick, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you use it all up. Yeah, we like to call it kind of controlled aggression. So you can't run your heart out for 15 minutes or 20 minutes or however long a cross-country race lasts. I mean, especially in a marathon, like you were saying. So you kind of have to spread out your energy over the last part of the race. And
controlled aggression, Adam. Isn't that how you would describe Jordan Hasay? Controlled aggression. That was the phrase that popped into your head, I know it.
I'm still stuck on the first 10. That would mean there's a second 10 miles? That's 20 miles if my math is correct.
Yeah,
I'm hoping to make just 5. I mean, geez. Yeah, no, but that is controlled aggression. Hitting, a baseball, if you're up there and the moment, is such, the game's on the line, and you can't control your energy. I used to try and think of taking all of that anxiety or all of that, welled up inside of me and focus it in my eyes so that way I could see better and try and get my heart rate down. I'd always be very, very mindful of where my heart is on deck. Okay, if this guy gets on, his base is loaded, I have a chance to win the game, and you can just feel your heart start thumping, and if you can just, and we have the mental coaches on the team that would, walk you through this stuff, at your request, of course, and it was all about controlling your heart rate and just keeping it down, because then when you're in that, if you're relaxed, if you're running a race, if you've done the training and you can be relaxed, you're going to perform to your peak. But if you're up to bat or running a race and you're nervous and you're burning up that energy, you're not sure, you're probably going to, peter out, or, strike out, get back to the bench and go, that happened so fast, I don't even know what happened. It's just a blur. So I like that controlled aggression. And, I've heard it several times before. And, it's tough to do, but when you do it right, it's awesome.
Hey, when you talk about one thing you hear a lot about in the coaching world, and we talk about people getting coaches, even people that are just trying to get fit, right? Get a coach, have somebody follow along with you, have somebody encourage you, motivate you. But as we were talking last week, and Max brought up, or maybe it was a couple weeks ago, Max brought up as well that idea of changing the way in which we coach to individual athletes. So now we got the football team or the basketball team, or in your case, the cross-country team, where all of you aren't going to respond to the coach in the same way. Coach gets a little bit fiery. Coach uses more positive words, more negative, gets after you a little bit, lets loose a little bit. How does the coach up there deal with the six of you, right? Six race in the race, the six of you differently, and then how does the coach maybe deal with you the same, or is there even that? Is it just one program for all six?
No, that's a good question. And one of the things when I was looking at what college I wanted to go to was that's what you kind of look at is whether the coach really tailors to the individual athlete or just the group as a whole. And there were definitely some schools I visited where it's just, they give you the training log for the week and that's it, go do it. But our program is really tailored toward the individual. We have our own personal logs she writes out every week, and she's just really good about just knowing people and knowing, I respond better to being held back more, or my teammate needs a little bit more structure, or just knowing different things. And I think one of the big things, as you guys were kind of talking about earlier, is like as far as distance running, typically distance runners are really motivated. They want to do more and want to do a lot of things. So one of the things of a job of our coach is kind of holding us back and making sure that we take our rest days and we're not doing too much, and keeping us all healthy was kind of the key for the season, because if one of us got hurt, then we definitely wouldn't have been able to win the championship. Is
the focus there more on the physical health from a standpoint of flexibility, stretching, massage, different stabilization techniques, or do they have you pretty dialed in on a nutrition program as well? And then even the mental aspect. I know, we're blessed here locally with Jeff Troche, sports psychologist, sees a lot of college athletes, does a lot of stuff with different people. But Jordan, do they have you doing work with sports psychologists if you want to do visualization techniques? Do they have the nutrition aspects too? Because of course, as we talked on Living the Run over this last year, these are all complements to the physical, right? Yeah. And being able to kind of get that twine. What's University of Oregon doing up there, and what do they have that coaching staff for you?
Yeah, like you guys said, it's almost even more important than the physical. I mean, anyone can go run as hard as you can, but it's really about recovery afterwards. And we're really blessed up there. We have a massage therapist, a bunch of cold tubs. We have a really nice cold tub next to a hot tub, so you can do contrast therapy, which is really cool. And we're not on a specific nutrition program because different things work for everyone, but we have a nutritionist that we can go see and will advise us. And we have sports psychologists. I actually just started working with one this fall, and he's been really great. And so it's we definitely have a lot of support up there. Definitely all the things that you need to be successful.
I mean, I think that stuff. I mean, that's music to my ears. I mean, even in Oakland, playing for the A's, we didn't have a massage therapist on staff. As late as 2000 and what was it, 5 or 6 or something like that, and getting to some of these other teams, they had a full time. But I mean, that's just the small stuff that, again, you were saying if one person on the team breaks down, then now it's, scramble time. You got to get somebody else, and, somebody else is going to get in there and do their best, obviously, but it's not the team, just like during the year with baseball, it's, who stays healthy, because everybody knows there's going to be some injuries, but the guys who stay the healthiest. And I mean, when you're saying that about at University of Oregon, I was a UCLA guy, so. But
Pac-10 rivalry. Yeah. Pac-12. I still can't say Pac-12. Yeah. Pac-10 rivalry. Yeah. I still got to say Pac-10.
But I'm thinking back to my pregame 44 nuggets and French fries from KFC. I wonder why I didn't perform to my peak. It blows me. I'm glad to hear that now, and even the mental coach is is stuff that they have going around, definitely at the major league level, but in the minor league level. And, guys are kind of looking over their shoulder like, oh, gosh, I hope they don't see me going in to talk to the mental coach, at first. And now it's just like, yeah, hey, and I just, I want that positive. Any little thing that you can get to give you an edge. And then if you're talented on top of that, good night. You're sky's the limit. So,
hey, no question. Hey, we got to take a quick break, but I'd love to have you back for one more segment, Jordan. We want to talk about what the future holds. We got one last year track and field here, track and field season, and then on to what have you. And that's what we want to hear about next from Jordan Hasay.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Puma Aquatics team offers year-round swim programming for novice, recreational, and competitive swimmers. For 16 years, Puma has developed some of the fastest swimmers on the Central Coast, as well as the nation. Puma has 3 convenient locations to choose from, providing programming for all of San Luis Obispo County. Puma offers swim assessments for new swimmers on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the SLO Kennedy Club, Atascadero Kennedy Club, and Arroyo Grande High School. For more information about Puma Aquatics, check out pumaswim.org. Join the Puma Pride and challenge yourself to reach new levels in your swimming. Puma Aquatics, where pride, passion, and persistence pay off.
Imagine waking up every morning feeling great, jumping out of bed, starting your day, and then energetically getting through the day and finishing with plenty left for the evening. The fact is, you were born with all the tools you need to function optimally, develop lean, strong muscles, and generally feel good, productive, and pain-free. You just need to relearn to use these natural tools, and it's not as hard as you think. Athlon Fitness and Performance in San Luis Obispo has a 4-week fitness fast start designed specifically to get you back on track and moving like a champion, quickly and effectively. And for a limited time, you can start Athlon's 4-week fitness fast start for only $197. That's 4 weeks of personal training, nutritional guidance, movement rehabilitation, motivation, fun, and encouragement, all for just $197. Take your body and your athleticism to a new level. Go to athlonslo.com. That's ATHLONSLO.com to learn more about the 4-week fitness fast start. It'll be the best decision you ever make.
Folks, when it comes to the health of my teeth, I will not compromise, and neither should you. It's time you go where my wife and I go see Dr. Ryan Ross. I get it. Not everyone loves a dentist, and heck, even a few of you out there are scared to death of these offices. Bad past experiences? Well, you ever had a bad haircut? How about a bad meal somewhere? You didn't stop getting your haircut, and you certainly didn't stop eating, so stop ignoring your teeth. Dr. Ross's gentle approach, calming demeanor, and office full of upbeat staff put your dental fears to rest. Conveniently located in a great little house on Marsh Street downtown, Dr. Ross's office exudes the highest level of professionalism, mixed with an atmosphere much like your own home. Look, nobody's in a rush here. It's not a get 'em in, get 'em out atmosphere. Every time I'm in Dr. Ross's office, it's like I'm the only guy that matters. No distractions, just full focus on my oral health. If you're interested in the highest quality in dental care and want to walk out of the office every time with a smile, call Dr. Ryan Ross today, 541-5800.
The ultimate choice for sports massage in SLO County? Peak Performance. Conveniently located at SLO Wellness Center just blocks from Cal Poly is ready to assist you to reach your personal best. Calling all athletes and fitness enthusiasts if you're ready to start alleviating symptoms by addressing the true problems. If you are seeking efficient and effective body work, then you can count on Peak Performance. Nagging injury, losing the bounce in your step, pain or tightness keeping you from training hard and reaching your goals? Raise your standards, raise your expectations. Call Peak Performance 543-8688.
We're back with Living the Run.
Hey, welcome back to Living the Run. Jordan Hasay in studio rounding out the year. If you've missed any of this, find us on livingtherun.com. Podcast will be up tomorrow, or facebook.com/livingtherun. Always great to have and just be in the room with an elite athlete. And you can kind of tell Adam as she talks. There's just a level that's quite a bit different. We were even talking about shoes and so forth. And there's a difference between who needs certain shoes and who needs other shoes. And certainly the elite runner needs slightly different shoes. And that kind of leads us into where we go after the season. You got one more Pac-10s. You just rounded out the cross-country championship, national champions. Great way to go out as a senior. Now we're coming into the last spring, summer season of track here, if you will. What are the goals going into the spring last year at Oregon?
Well, now that we've won the cross country title, we can go for the three-peat, which would be really cool. Which would mean the cross country indoor and outdoor titles as a team. And so that's one of my main goals, is just helping towards that. And so whatever events I can run indoors and outdoors to help with that. I'll probably run the 5K, 3K indoors and the 10 and 5 outdoors possibly. So those are the main goals.
When you use a kind of an interesting phrase when you talk about going on to the next level and deciding what to run. Do I run the 1,500? Do I run the 5,000? Do we do a 10,000? That kind of thing. But you always say we're trying to decide. Who's we in this as you go forward? And especially we even reference it as you go to maybe become professional after you finish your collegiate career. Who's we? Who makes these decisions? Is it not you that's making the decision on what race you want to run?
No, the worst part is that it's always my decision in the end, and no one will help with that. But I think a huge part of running and just my whole career has been my great support system and my family. I mean, they're not necessarily involved in the types of decisions, what races I run, but mostly we means my coach. And like we said, all the support up there, your massage therapist, your sports psychologist, your trainers, everyone up there is just all making the best decisions for you and will all give me their input. But like I said, ultimately it's my decision. And so that's what I mean when I say we, is my great support system, everyone that's there helping me out.
So I'm asking this question for Adam because Adam said that he said earlier that he was a shortstop that just ended up playing catcher. Are you a 5,000 runner that just ends up running the 1,500? Or are you a 5,000 runner that ends up running the 10? Or what defines you in racing? Where like when you think about it, say, if I only got one race left to do in my life, which one would you choose?
Oh, that's a tough question. One in my life. Well, I'm probably going to try a 10K this year. I'm definitely going to be more of a longer distance in the future, so I'll probably run marathons eventually. But typically runners will move up when you think you can't really be competitive on the world level in your event. And as far as the 1,500, I still have room for improvement there, but I'm definitely... Normally top 1,500 meter runners can run too flat in the 800, but I can... and then they can't run 15 flat in the 5K, but I think that I'll be able to run 15 flat in the 5K soon, and then so I'm more coming towards the longer distance for the 1,500, so if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're hitting the peaks a little bit earlier, which is giving you that kind of sense, this is where I got to go with my talents and skills. Mm-hmm. What you learned from last year? I know last year, it's got to be such a tough year. You go in, you got the Pac-10 championships, then you got the national championships, and then you got Olympic trials right after. A lot of running. Certainly those rest days are important mentally and physically. What'd you learn from last year? Yeah,
it was really tough. I just remember last year when it turned on January 1st, when it was 2012, it was the Olympic year. This is a big deal. It only comes every 4 years. It's a really big deal for the track and field world, especially doing well in the 2008 Olympic trials. So it was a big deal, and I really wanted to do well at the trials, and obviously didn't pan out. So, but like you said, we learned a lot from it as far as training, and I think one of the main things was just learning about rest days. I think we maybe overworked a little bit and tried to change things up, and didn't really focus on the right event and do the right things that we needed to do. So it was a good learning experience, definitely tough, but failure is good. So.
Yeah, no question. And Dean Karnazes, that's exactly what he said. He learns more from the failed events, certainly than always winning events. what have you. And it's where's that attitude come from? You know, we mentioned that earlier for you is that the first thing everyone always talks about is your attitude, just how kind you are, how nice it is to be around you. Just a sweet personality, and everyone says it's not. Nobody doesn't say it, so it obviously resonates. And that's an amazing thing when you talk about somebody who's as an elite athlete, because other elite athletes, you hear them reference and you talk about their elite athleticism. The first thing isn't they talk about who they are as a person. You know, where did that come from? How did you embrace that so early in your athletic career, despite beating all those crazy boys when they were in 7th and 8th grade? I mean, sure, that should have been ego driven. You know, I could see myself, going ego on that.
Well, thanks. I guess it's just always something that I've enjoyed to do, and my family just always taught me to be really humble and just not take anything for granted. You know, I just appreciate what I'm doing, and I love doing it, and I love being able to inspire people, especially the younger kids. And that's just why I love doing it, is just being able to meet different people and just feel really blessed to have the gift that I can share with others. And that's why when I race, I just see it as an opportunity to kind of show my talent off a little bit and just have fun with it. And like you said, it's hard to deal with the failures, but you just kind of move on, and it makes you a greater athlete in the end, and also just teaches you a lot about life.
No question. You know, I think the thing that comes to mind is that quote that says, "Never let your successes go to your head, and never let your failures go to your heart." And you seem to epitomize that quote as well as anyone, Jordan. Thanks so much for coming in with us. Look forward to paying attention to you in this last Pac-12 year, and looking forward to you as a professional runner here in the future. I know it's going to be great, and I hope you can check back in with us sometime in the spring.
Yeah, thanks, Rex. Thanks, Adam. Thanks for having me.
I'm a runner now.
Right, we should go for a run. I'll be back all week.
I'm fired up.
Yeah, Adam's ready for that run before the new year. He's inspired. Guys, we'll wrap up the show. Tips and takeaways here in moments. Adam Melhuse, Rex Stevens here on Living the Run.
You're listening to Living the Run on ESPN Radio 1280 The Ticket.
Hey guys, Paul Tarek from Living the Run here. As a former Olympian, there is only one place myself and fellow athletes go when it comes to chiropractic care on the Central Coast. With 4 chiropractors in the clinic, Slow Wellness Center is the largest, most comprehensive group of docs in San Luis Obispo County. I began seeing Dr. Rex Stevens back in 2005 for spinal adjustments to help maximize my performance, minimize my injury, and allow me to compete at my best. When the difference between a win and a loss can be just a fraction of an inch, perfect alignment in all joints is essential. One of the great things about the team at Slow Wellness is no matter where I had an issue, whether it was my spine, my foot, knee, wrist, or shoulder, they were always able to help. This team, made up of Dr. Rex and Molly Stevens, Dr. Sachs, and Dr. Bandolo, is sure to help you reach your health and fitness goals too. If it's chiropractic care you need, go where I go, Slow Wellness Center. Check them out at slowwellness.com or call 543-8688.
You want to get fit? And I mean really fit? Fit for fun? Fit for looking good? Fit for life? It can happen for you at Athlon Fitness and Performance in San Luis Obispo. Athlon has a 4-week fitness fast start designed to get anyone back on track and moving like a champion quickly and effectively. For a limited time, you can start Athlon's 4-week fitness fast start for only $197. That's 4 weeks of personal training, nutritional guidance, movement rehabilitation, motivation, fun, and encouragement, all for just $197. Take your body and your athleticism to a new level. Go to athlonslow.com. That's ATHLONSLO.com to learn more about the 4-week fitness fast start. It'll be the best decision you'll ever make.
My name is Chris Randolph, and as a local track and field Olympic hopeful, I've been seeing Brian Quigley at Slow Wellness Center to help me with injury recovery during my season. Brian has not only helped me with some very extensive injuries, but has also educated me on the specifics of how my body moves when I compete. His knowledge and touch has helped me achieve personal bests in my competition and has also helped me in injury prevention. Becoming a wellness patient of his has helped me stop my injuries before they start, making time spent recovering shorter, leaving more time spent training for my goals. From injury prevention to wellness, Brian understands the patient and holistically helps them achieve their personal health-related goals. So check out Brian Quigley at peakperformanceslo.com and find him on Facebook and comment a response to this ad and get a complimentary 60-minute massage.
Since 1929, Standard Process has been dedicated to providing the highest quality whole food supplements. Their philosophy is simple: to provide nutrients as they are found in nature. Today, scientists are finding more and more evidence demonstrating the benefits of whole food nutrients over high-dose synthetic vitamins. Standard Process's unique products are sold through healthcare professionals who are trained in using whole food nutrition as the first line of defense for the body. Visit www.standardprocess.com for more information or to find a Standard Process healthcare practitioner near you.
We're back with Living the Run.
Welcome back to Living the Run. Couple minutes left in 2012. Next week, we'll go through some of the best of Living the Run. Put Max to work, get him to get a couple of these good interviews for next week. I think that's what's going on the show, and then we'll come back on January 9th to start off the year. Been a great year, and what a way to end the year with an interview like Jordan Hasay. Like you said, say it now, as support staff, huh, Adam?
Impressive. Very, very, very impressive. I mean, as someone as talented as that has the people around her to keep her grounded. And I get the feeling that it didn't take much. She's just that kind of a person that's just kind of humble to begin with. And, it's just...
She's got the great spirit, and we talked last week with this guy on the video games, and, Paul was trying to kind of push him a little bit to say, hey, are these video games the best thing? You shoot 'em up games, violence, killing cops, prostitutes, this different kind of stuff. And for some kids, it's not the right thing, and it can kind of get a screw loose. I think you're right. Jordan probably kind of had her head together, but I got to say, the props got to go to her parents. I have no idea who they are, but all you can say is kids like that, if fostered appropriately, do what she's doing. She's doing things on an elite level. She has been since she was probably 10 years old, and she's going to continue to because her focus is so good. I mean, she sits there and says, hey, I learn a lot from those failures. Those failures aren't fun at the time, so she's open to admit it, but at the same time, I can look back at them. We can, and she always references we, Adam. I thought that was so brilliant.
I was just going to say that. How many times could she have said, well, I did this, or well, I did that, or I did, but it was always we, until you clarified. I'm like, was she got a mouse in her pocket or what? I'm like, I mean,
it's always
impressive.
We. Yeah, it's so impressive. And, going forward here on Living the Run and where we hope to encourage our listeners next year is that's such a critical piece. We've had an Athlon Elite on, Ryan Joyner. We've got different people around this town that can be part of the team nutritionally, mentally, physically, to get people that extra little edge going forward and realize that they can achieve more than what they're achieving today in their health and wellness. Tips and takeaways, final tips and takeaways for the year, Adam.
Sign me up for the cooking class or my wife, one or the other. Sign us up. But no, this has been awesome, and I appreciate you having me on the show, and I've learned a lot, and hopefully I've contributed a little bit to the show, but I've done a lot of learning, that's for sure. So just get up and go. Get going, like you said. It was you caught me at a time where being retired and coming workouts had stalled big time, and then just okay, let me just get going and get back in, and knew what to do a little bit, but just kind of pushed myself a little bit and then a little bit more, and it's been an interesting journey through several different types of workouts and stuff, and it will continue to be. I know that much, but just the premise of the whole show to just start somewhere and to get moving and to get it going, and you're gonna get the bug. Trust me, you'll get it. The running bug, the lifting, whatever it is, you'll get it, and then you won't want to stop.
Yeah, I almost take this for granted, this show. We get to hang around such cool people. If you don't get the bug by hanging around people like Jordan Hasay, shoot, you're not living. Check the pulse.
I'm running home.
I'm running home. I think about her, my tip and takeaway is put a smile on your face. It's absolutely amazing how infectious that is. That girl smiled the whole time she was here. She walked in the door, she smiled. She smiled the whole interview. Neat kid, and it's amazing the energy that comes off of and to all of those around us, and how it wants to get you going, get the molecules moving.
Oh, no doubt. And I mean, just one thing that came to mind too is, a week or so ago, I saw someone's a video on Facebook, and this kid that was handicapped on the wrestling mat, 12 years old. The other kid wrestling him, fully functional. It just pulls him over on top, lets the kid pin him, and tears in my eyes. This kid's just competing, so we can compete if he can compete. Living the run at the best we can. Thanks to Max Woodcock, producer, Adam Melhuse in studio, Paul Tarek, who wasn't here. I am Rex Stevens. Till 2013, live healthy, live bold, come live the run.